question for you. Is the BYU basketball team starting to turn things on just at the right time? They have won 4 of their last 7 games. 3 of those wins considered quad 1 wins in the net rankings. The result, the bracket experts currently have BYU in as one of the last 4 teams for the NCAA tournament. That most recent quad 1 win that came on the road this past Tuesday at one of the toughest places in the country to play, West Virginia. Igor Deming led BYU with 16 points, marking the 5th time in the last 6 games that he has hit double-digit points. No coincidence, BYU plays better when Deming is playing better, right? Well, tonight, BYU returns home. This isn't a quad 1 opponent, which makes it that much more important, though, for BYU to get a win and stay in the good graces of the selection committee. BYU is hosting a hot Kansas State team that has won 6 straight, 4 of those wins against ranked teams. Tonight's game tipping off at 7 o'clock at the Marriott Center. Then after tonight, just 6 more games to go before the conference tournament. 3 against top 20 teams beginning Tuesday night in Provo. BYU will be hosting 17th ranked Kansas, and then they hit the road next Saturday to face number 13 Arizona. Utah State's tournament resume continues to beef up, and on Sunday, the Aggies will have a chance to improve to 4-0 in quad 1 games and get revenge in the process. The Aggies will be down at the pit to take on the top team in the Mountain West, the New Mexico Lobos. The Aggies have won their last 3 since losing in Logan to New Mexico. The most recent, a big win against Colorado State on Tuesday.
There's points in a season where you got to step up, players got to step up, you got to make plays. And we're able to do that from the jump. And I think that carried us, Jason, even to the bitter end. As you pointed out, we didn't finish this thing like we wanted, but it's crazy. We're 22-3, and, we've been pretty streaky really all year, whether it's free throw shooting, defense, 3-point shooting. So I was really pleased with our physicality to match them on the glass. Was really good.
The Running Utes, they've been in a little bit of a rut lately. Back-to-back losses at West Virginia and Cincinnati. But tonight, they're back at the Huntsman Center to host 17th-ranked Kansas. Utah's won 4 of its last 5 conference games at home. This one will tip off at 8 o'clock on ESPN. But the Utah women's basketball team, they've got the longest active win streak in the Big 12. During that streak, Jonna Neepkins has been averaging 28 points per game. Her hot hand this season has her shooting 51% from the field, 46.8% from 3, and 91.7% from the free throw line, that 50-40-90 line. Those are elite numbers, friends. Today, they kept the win streak going on the road against Arizona State. In the second quarter, ASU cutting the Utah lead down to 7 with an 8-0 run. But Neepkins hits back-to-back threes, and the Utes have a 15-point lead at halftime. In the third quarter, Utah looking to bust the game wide open. Kennedy McQueen, she hit 6 threes in the game and had 20 points. Madison Wilkie added 18 off the bench. She hit a 3 there to end the third. Neepkins did lead Utah with 24 points and 12 rebounds. Utah has now won 7 in a row. There's a big game down in Provo. BYU women's basketball taking on number 20 Oklahoma State this afternoon. Second quarter, Brinley Cannon showing the spin move and the score. Cougars down by 2. End of the third. Macy Heward beats the buzzer. OK State's up 4 going into the fourth. But BYU is still in it. Down 5. Emma Calvert, little hook shot, I should say, cuts it to 3. Minute later, freshman phenom Delaney Gibb, the behind-the-back dribble, the bucket and the foul. She had 14 points for the Cougars. Less than 3 minutes to play. Calvert down low. The spin and the layup gives BYU the lead. 30 seconds to go. Oklahoma State looking to tie it. They drop it out of bounds. BYU takes over. Amari Whiting unable to put the game away at the line, but Cambry Barber grabs the missed free throw and puts it in. The Cougars hold on for the big upset in Provo, their first win over a ranked opponent since February of last year.
From the Utah Jazz, Keontae George.
Saturday to Sunday. Team Chris Mullin.
Utah Jazz second-year guard Keontae George was the star in the Rising Stars Challenge last night at All-Star Weekend. He didn't win the MVP, but he made the biggest shot of the challenge to earn a spot to play on All-Star Sunday night. How did he do that? Well, the way it works this year, the Rising Stars Challenge had 4 different teams in a mini tournament. Each semifinal game with a target score of 40, and then the championship game with a target score of 25. George led his team in the first game with 10 points to help them earn a spot in that final game, and then he hit the game-winning shot, the winning team clinching a spot to play against the 3 NBA All-Star teams in a mini tournament on Sunday.
I think Steph got the loose ball, and then I kind of just said I was kind of making a noise for him, letting him know that I was kind of trailing the play. I think 3 people collapsed on him, and he just threw the ball out. The coach was saying in the timeout that we don't have to take a 3, but I let him know I was going to let it fly if I was open. So obviously, ball went in. And, it was a great moment for us. Everybody's going to be watching. Everybody's going to, be tuned in to watching the best of the best in this league. And, they gave us an opportunity to compete in the Rising Stars. That's a major blessing. And now we came out here and respected the game, came out here and played, and now we get a chance to, like you said, play with the big dogs.
Well, instead of the traditional All-Star weekend in the NHL this year, we have the 4 Nations face-off. Utah Hockey Club defenseman Olli Mata playing a key role for Finland today against Sweden. Down 3-2 late in the second period, Mata putting the perfect pass into the crease to find the stick of Alexander Barkov for the game-tying goal. Mata's second assist of the tournament. This game would end up going to overtime in OT. Finland gets the job done. Mikael Granlund, the no-look game winner. Finland's next game is Monday against Canada. The United States playing Canada tonight. It was an announcement that took Cougar Nation by surprise this week. With BYU basketball on the road at West Virginia, Tom Holmoe announced that he would be calling it a career as BYU's athletic director. Holmoe has held down the title of BYU's athletic director for the past 20 years. He took the Cougars from the Mountain West Conference through independence in the WCC to now a power conference in the Big 12. He's helped BYU navigate uncharted territory with NIL and transfer portals. Now, BYU starts the hunt for his successor.
The last couple years, I've had to seriously contemplate, and my wife and I made the decision for a couple years that let's go one more. Let's go one more. Let's go another. And sometime this summer, I'm not sure about the exact date, I just had a very strong impression that it was time.
We're definitely going to conduct a national search. We're going to cast a broad net with the intent of getting the person who is passionate, who bleeds blue.
President's ready to go. We're going to turn the page. The baton will be handed to a new AD, and we'll hit the ground running.
Well, Holmoe will be leaving some big shoes to fill. A short list of possible replacements include current Deputy Athletic Director Brian Santiago, Senior Associate AD and Senior Women Administrator Liz Darger, and BYU football legend, current Associate AD for Development, Chad Lewis. By the way, that was Holmoe's position when he was hired. Also, how about former Hawaii AD Craig Angelos and current Kentucky Associate AD Mark Hill. All right, All-Star Weekend is the unofficial halfway point to the NBA season, and boy, it's been a rough one for the first half of the Utah Jazz, or has it? I've got a few good reasons why Jazz fans should be pretty excited about what they've seen so far this season. I'll share those with you coming up. And several local football players have been invited to work out at the NFL Scouting Combine, hoping to improve their draft status. I'll tell you who's going next.
Dunk here. Oh! Okay. Okay.
Is this the best thing that's ever happened to you as far as your career?
No.
The most fun thing?
Well, no. My honeymoon was a lot of fun. All right. But next to that, it was good.
The Utah Jazz have had a lot of memorable moments for the All-Star Weekend, and it marks that unofficial halfway point. You know, as the Jazz continue to experience the growing pains of a rebuild this season, they've also been able to get a little bit of a peek into the future. Second-year guard Keontae George, whom we saw in the Rising Stars game Friday night, has been one of the recent bright spots for the Utah Jazz. On January 25th, Keontae was replaced in the starting lineup by rookie Isaiah Collier. But since then, George has actually thrived in his sixth-man role, averaging 31 minutes per game over the 12 games since, since he went to the bench, to go with 16.3 points, 6.4 assists, and 4.1 rebounds. One of his best performances came Wednesday night against the Lakers. 20 points, 10 assists, and 7 boards.
I think that Keontae has understood that this is not meant to be a punishment. It's meant to get the best out of him and put him in a position where he can be successful. He's done a good job of kind of refocusing on a lot of the things that aren't scoring. He's such a talented offensive player, but I think he's really diving into all the things that equate to winning.
Now, on the other side of it, since heading to the since heading to the starting lineup, Isaiah Collier has been one of the best rookies in the entire NBA. He's third amongst rookies in scoring since that day. He leads rookies in assists with 9 per game and has the most double-doubles amongst rookies in that span. Also, second-round pick Kyle Filipowski's been finding his stride. On Friday night against the Clippers, he recorded a career-high 20 points and added 10 rebounds for his second double-double this season. Now, the Jazz, they did lose 4 of their last 5 before the All-Star break and are tied for the second fewest wins in the NBA with 13. But this is all part of the process. It takes patience from the fans, and it can be tiring for the players, which actually makes this weekend the perfect time for these guys to just get away from the game for a bit.
Always great to just detach. This league takes a lot away from you, and obviously a lot of dedication goes into this league. So it's always nice to have a balance and detach a little bit, get ready for the second half.
You know, really it's a good time for some mental rest. And it's nice, you know, it's like when you work on something for a while and you step away for a bit and you come back and you see it with sort of fresh eyes again. I think that's what we're all going to try to do, recharge a little bit. And then when we come back, we know we have that final push of the season, and, you know, we want to be ready to ramp it back up again.
Well, several local players have been invited to participate at this year's NFL Scouting Combine. 3 Utes, Brant Keithy, Junior Tafuna, and Karene Reeb, they will all be going. Joining them in Indianapolis will be BYU defensive lineman Tyler Batty and Utah State wide receiver Jalen Royals. Also, Corner Canyon quarterback Jackson Dart and Kearns High linebacker Jeffrey Bassa, they have been invited. It takes place at the end of the month with the NFL Draft coming up in April. Added to her legendary Utah gymnastics career this week by being recognized as the Big 12 Gymnast of the Week. But you know what she has not added to her career yet this season? A perfect 10. She had 4 in her career prior to this year. The Red Rocks were facing Arizona State on Friday night, and it's had nearly a full point lead going into the final rotation against Arizona State. That's like a 4-touchdown lead in the fourth quarter, and things started to go wrong. Anna Padererio fell on the beam. Cammie Winger, she had to have a balance check on her routine, and even Grace McCollum had issues on the beam at the beginning of her routine. Rare mistakes by the Red Rocks, but you know what? In the end, they were still able to hold on to get the win, 196.6 to 196.475. We'll be right back after this. And download the KSL Sports app if you haven't done so already. A lot of free and great content there for the Utes, Cougars, Aggies, Utah Jazz, and the Utah Hockey Club, including listening to those games live on the app. See you tonight at 10.